Hey guys, Scott here from Natural Athlete Online Coaching. Today I'm going to talk you through the 6-point rock. 6-point rock has a few names. Another name for it is the frog stretch. But essentially, you're performing a squat pattern movement, not under load, just under your own body weight, which allows your body to get into better positions. When we're under load, our body tends to resist us going into position, so we can't access them. It also allows us to assess whether this restriction is a tissue or a skill issue, okay? So if I can get Kaya to do a squat on the floor, not under any load, and move her hips through that full range of motion, she hasn't got any tissue limitations. Her muscles are conditioned to do that movement, but she may struggle with a back squat because of a skill issue. When you know this, you just need to practice the back squat. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to practice the 6-point rock. So this is the start position, but what I want to do is check that Kaya's feet are in the right position. So I'm going to get her onto her feet. So you just stand up on your feet. Onto your feet. Right. Get into your squat stance. Okay, so now she's set her feet how she squats normally, okay? Now, keep your feet where they are. Go back down to the floor. Onto your knees. Okay, she's going to keep her feet where they are. So, as her hips are gliding back, they're gliding back as she would be squatting if she was stood up, okay? So now what she's going to do is so her spine is perfectly neutral now because she's never practiced this exercise, but she knows what a neutral spine is. It's a really important part of this exercise, okay? So why is her spine neutral? Well, this is how her spine looks when she's stood up tall, okay? Can you show me Happy Cat Sad Cat? Yeah, so this is like a anterior pelvic tilt and then posterior pelvic tilt, okay? So we don't want to see these shapes being created as we do it, and we ideally don't want to see any tucking of the hip at all. We want to see this neutral spine the whole way through, okay? She's going to start gliding the hips back towards her heels. Can you put your toes on the floor for me? Yeah, perfect. So that gives her a bit more range if her toes are on the floor. So start gliding your hips back towards your heels and keep a neutral spine. Perfect. Okay, so Kaya can do this really well because she does squat a lot, I know that. Even though she's never done this exercise, her body's going to move nice and well, and she's got good awareness of neutral spine. However, if she makes her way to the start position, assuming she was a beginner and struggled with neutral spine, not everyone does. It's a bit 50-50. Some people really get this straight away, and some people really don't. If you really struggle with squats, I'd recommend practicing this a lot. So maybe every session, 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, rocking backwards and forwards. If you have a sticking point and you can't reach the bottom of your heel, so if you can go halfway down for me. If you start to tuck in this position, can you pull into tuck? Okay, so if you start to tuck here because you're getting a bit of tightness at the front of your hip and in your lower back and your body just wants to pull you forward like that, then you want to just come back forward for me 1 centimeter. You want to just rock back in between this position. She's done exactly what I wanted her to, which is regaining a neutral spine, and you want to rock back through that position, keeping that neutral spine, working through your sticking point and loosening up those tissues, okay? You do that for a few weeks. After a while, you should be able to get to your heels nice and easy. You may have to really think about the control. As you can see with Kaya, she didn't have to really think about it too much. It was a natural thing for her. So that's the ultimate place you want to get to, where you do this. The most natural thing for you is to maintain that neutral spine. Can you show me one more full rep for me to finish? So she keeps a neutral spine, she rocks her hips back all the way to her heels, and she comes all the way back forward to her start position. That's the 6-point rock, or the frog stretch, as it's always otherwise known as. Great way to practice a squat pattern movement, not under load.